Hello everybody, hope you guys are enjoying your day. Today we're going to be looking at a very excessive heat wave that's going to be moving through parts of the southern and central parts of the United States, and then with time it's going to be making its way into the eastern United States. We're going to be going over some of your modeled forecasts as well as what the Climate Prediction Center is forecasting, and also your drought monitor, because we have a very large and excessive drought over parts of the southwest and south central United States. So we have a lot to talk about in today's video. As well, if you didn't see my fall forecast, I posted it yesterday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's currently on my channel and you can go check that out. I go over what I think is going to happen for this fall in terms of the temperature anomalies, your precipitation anomalies, and all of that. So you can go check that out, and you can pretty much get prepared for what to expect this fall. And I'll be updating that forecast definitely as we get closer to the fall time frame. So here is your current National Weather Service page. We have heat advisories all the way from Florida to California there, and we have it over much of the southern United States. We also have some excessive heat warnings in effect for parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, and then we also have some over parts of Utah, into parts of Arizona, California, and southern Nevada there, and then we have something that you really don't see a lot, some red flag warnings in effect for parts of the Pacific Northwest. So I don't remember the last time I actually saw red flag warnings in effect for the Pacific Northwest. Definitely something you don't see too much. And then some heat advisories there for the Hudson Valley into parts of upstate New York there. So here is your modeled guidance, and this is your European model high temperatures. So this is the highest temperature you're going to see within the entire day for the most part. And we're going to go over your 10-day forecast. So I believe this is going to actually go until July the 20th here. So this is today, and this is your high temperatures for today. You see, anywhere in those oranges, that's where we're between about 70 and about 85 degrees. And then as you start to get into those reds and those the dark shade of reds and into kind of those grays, that's where you're between 85 and 90. And once you get into those grays, that's where you're between 90 and about 100. Into those whites, and almost when you're starting to get into kind of those pinkish colors, that's 100 to 115 degrees. And once you get into those greens, which you kind of see there for southern Arizona and southern California, you see that those greens indicate actually 120 plus degrees Fahrenheit. So definitely some very warm conditions for parts of the southern half of the United States. So anywhere in those grays, that's kind of your demarcation line from 90 degrees and above. So the official definition of a heat wave is 90 degrees, 3 days with 90-degree temperatures or above for your high temperatures. And so anywhere in those grays, really pay attention to where that gray line is, and that's your 90-degree line. So that's where you could see a heat wave, an official heat wave, but it will still feel very warm over much of the U.S. So this is today, and now here we go for tomorrow. Even warmer for parts of the southwest, where we actually have temperatures nearing 120 or maybe even 122, 123 degrees there, and heat index will probably make that feel a little bit warmer there. Also for parts of Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, we have temperatures that are above 110 degrees, and especially in parts of Texas and Oklahoma, you're probably going to see some of that Gulf moisture move through. That's going to add to your humidity index, so that will actually make it feel even warmer than it actually is. So that is definitely, especially as you get into the south central and southeastern states, as you get a little bit more moisture in the atmosphere, it'll feel a lot more muggy than, let's say, the desert southwest, because there is very little moisture available. So you see that warmer blob of temperatures move through the central United States. This is by Monday the 13th, and now by Tuesday you're starting to see it's moving even further eastward. It continues to move further eastward. This is by July 15th, Wednesday, July 15th. And then as we continue to Thursday, you're still very warm over parts of the eastern United States. Now here's by Friday the 17th here, and you're seeing we have again another heat wave moving through. So this was your original heat wave. This is the start of your original heat wave over parts of the eastern United States, and this is basically your first little wave, your first little heat wave. You're already starting to see some building up of your next heat wave, which is going to start to move further to the east. So we're going to watch that move through with time. So here is by Saturday, July 18th, and you're already starting to see this next blob of warm air start to move through the central and eastern United States, and you have those 90 to 95 degree temperatures moving all the way through into the UP of Michigan. So very, very far north, you're seeing those very, very warm temperatures. And then as it starts to head into the northeast, it'll of course kind of die down a little bit, mainly because of that ocean effect where it cools down the temperatures. So it's not going to be as warm there, especially if you're closer to a body of water. It's going to be much, much cooler just because of the ocean effect, just because you're having that cooler ocean water temperatures move along and kind of match up with those warmer temperatures. So it will cool down your temperatures a little bit. So this is by Sunday the 19th, and then this is your final frame here of this model run. So this model doesn't go far enough out, but you start to see it even warms up a little bit more over parts of the northeast, and then you're starting to see a little bit more of a buildup of those warmer temperatures over parts of the central United States, and you can kind of imagine we would probably have another big wave of heat move through the eastern United States from that central United States heat. So here's just to give you a little bit of background. Here's your average temperatures for July 11th. So this is based off lots of years of records, and this is your average temperature. So you see over parts of the desert Southwest, your average temperature right around 105 to 110 degrees. So still very warm, but you saw those temperatures in near 120. That's 10 degrees above your normal there. Now over parts of the South Central, that's your average temperatures between 90 and 95 degrees. So you were seeing temperatures near 110. That's about 15 to 20 degrees above your normal. And for the southeast, you were much above normal, especially as you get a little bit further into further away from the ocean. And then also for the Great Lakes, where you had your average temperature is in the upper 70s right now, you were seeing temperatures of about 95 degrees. And that is about a 20 to 25 degree above average temperature swing. And then for the northeast, that was also about 10 to 15 degrees above your normal. So here is your heat index, and anywhere that's shaded in with a color, that's where your heat index is over 80 degrees. So you see over parts of the South Central, it is very, very warm in terms of your heat index, where you're seeing temperatures of about 100 to maybe even 110 degrees, and that's all the way moves all the way up the East Coast, where you have all the way into parts of New Jersey and Pennsylvania. You have your temperatures feeling like they're in the upper 90s there. So very, very warm conditions. Now here's by the 12th, so Sunday the 12th, and you see that continues. You start to see a little bit of thunderstorm activity, so that's where you kind of see some of those little blobs where you don't have too much going on. That's mainly what you're looking at right there. So that's mainly just a thunderstorm that's moving through, and then as we continue through here on Monday, July 13th, it continues warmer for the central United States, and then by the 14th, it is continuing to stay very, very warm, especially over the central and southern United States. And then this is your final frame for this, I believe, and this is July 15th, and it's continuing to persist, especially for the southeastern quarter of the country. It is going to be very, very warm and muggy over the next few days. So here is why this is happening. Now, this is a couple thousand feet up in the atmosphere, and this is your height anomaly. So this is basically anywhere in, for example, anywhere in these oranges and reds. That's where most likely a high pressure is, and that would indicate actually some warmer than normal temperatures. So I like to use this more than your temperature anomalies, because your 2 meter temperature anomalies, they fluctuate pretty much every day from every single model run, and with these geopotential heights, they're a little bit more consistent, and they kind of give you a better idea of what's actually happening, instead of, oh, it's just going to be warmer here. You can actually figure out where your high pressure systems are, and you can actually track where this warmer air is moving. You also see we have in those blues, that's where a low pressure system is. So we have about 3 of them. We have one over parts of Montana. This would be by today, so this would be by later this afternoon, and then we have another one in the Great Lakes that's bringing some thunderstorms along with it, and then we have Tropical Storm Faye, or post-tropical storm Faye there, which is over parts of the northeast. So we're gonna move this through and continue this. So you start to see very, very cold, or not very, very cold, but below average for parts of the Great Lakes and the northeast and the eastern United States as a whole. But for the western United States, you're starting to see that warm air really start to build with that ridge of high pressure system, that ridge of high pressure that's moving over Arizona and New Mexico by that point. So as we continue this, you start to see colder conditions throughout the eastern United States. But also look at these lines on your screen. Now this is lines of equal pressure, and you see how they start to move a little bit further up. That's actually indicating that you're seeing warmer air move throughout that area. So when you start to see these move down, that's indicating that you're seeing colder air from the north start to push down. So we're actually seeing over parts of the southwest and central United States that warmer air start to move through. So this is by Tuesday, July 14th. You're starting to see more of those lines start to head further and further north, and then by Wednesday, July 15th is really when you start to see that ridging start to appear for parts of the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and all the way down to the South Central. And you even start to see some of that ridging appear off the coast of Washington and Oregon, and that'll in turn lead to some warmer and drier than normal conditions for parts of the West Coast. Now, here's by Thursday, July 16th, and we're seeing warmer than normal temperatures persist again from anywhere from about Arizona and New Mexico to about Maine and parts of New England. That's where we're seeing those very, very warm conditions. So that's your first heat wave, and that's going to kind of stay around. You're going to have kind of expand this high pressure system, and that'll kind of this will actually probably help tropical development a little bit, especially if you want a stronger storm, because this high pressure system will make systems, if they do form, stall out over parts of the Gulf of Mexico or the Caribbean. They have no way of going northward, so this would actually make them stall out and probably intensify a little bit more. So we'll have to see about this. This does have implications on our weather, especially for the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean. So this is by Saturday, July 18th. Still ridging, very persistent throughout the eastern United States, the entire eastern United States. And then by July 19th, you still see that ridging. Also, something I want to point your attention to in the tropics here, we actually start to see some lower than normal pressures all throughout parts of the Caribbean and also into that main development region. And you're actually going to see this expand a little bit, and this would be the final frame of the model run right here. You start to see that expand a little bit, and that will in turn leads to a higher chance that you see some sort of storm system move throughout that area, and you still see that ridging persisting throughout parts of the eastern United States, and it's still very, very warm over the eastern United States by Monday, July 20th, according to the European model. So here's the July 21st, and then let's start looking at your Climate Prediction Center forecast. So here's your 8 to 14 day outlook, and you see very, very warm for parts of the eastern, well, pretty much the entire United States here, seeing very warm conditions. But the greatest chance of above normal temperatures is for the eastern United States there. And then here's your 6 to 10 day outlook in terms of your temperatures, and you see we have pretty much the same story, but with a little bit of a higher magnitude over parts of the eastern United States and some colder air actually for parts of the northwest. Now, here's your 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, and you see above normal precipitation for parts of the Great Lakes, the Midwest, and parts of the Ohio Valley, but also for parts of the South Central, the Rockies, the Central Plains, really, we see well below normal temperature or precipitation there. So that actually could help with your drought. Well, it could help worsen the drought, unfortunately, and we'll look at that in just one moment. Here's your 6 to 10 day outlook, and you see even more profound there over parts of the Southwest. So here is your drought outlook, and you see here's your intensity guidance from kind of on your bottom right corner of your screen there, and you see we are for most of the country, especially from the Mississippi River westward, you have most of the western United States under some sort of drought. Now, if you're just in that yellow, it's not really too big of a deal. It's just abnormally dry here. But as you start to get into that moderate drought, severe drought, especially that extreme drought, which you actually start to see over parts of Colorado, New Mexico, scattered throughout Texas and Oklahoma, as well as parts of Kansas there, and then also you see that for parts of Oregon and California there. That's where you really want to be paying attention. So this is going to worsen actually, and if we actually look at what the drought monitor is looking like, we are looking at drought persisting anywhere in those kind of dark brown regions. That's where your drought where you that you already have is going to stick around. So all throughout the western United States, this drought is sticking around. There's definitely no drought removal or drought removal likely or drought improvement throughout the western United States. But we actually start to see drought development likely, and that's scattered all the way from upstate New York to parts of Arizona, down through Texas, and then back around to parts of the Ohio Valley. So we do have a lot of drought that's going to start developing, or at least is likely to develop, and a lot of drought that is going to just persist throughout the Southwest, the Rockies, and parts of the Western United States here. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Again, make sure to go look at my fall forecast. Go check it out. And definitely, if you like it, go leave a like on the video. So, and if you like this video, make sure you do subscribe, leave a like, and turn on notifications. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.